Senate Majority Leader Pedro Espada Jr. joins me now from New York City. He is here to discuss his re-election bid and the opposition to it that is coming from within his own party. Senator, thanks very much for your time tonight.
Well, thank you, Liz, for the opportunity. Always appreciate it.
So 10,000 signatures is what, give or take, is what you delivered today to the Bronx Board of Elections. And you said, actually, I saw the footage, that God is on your side. What does God have to do with it?
God has everything to do with my blessings and my success. I can't owe it to anything else. Having come from Puerto Rico, unable to speak English, being the head of my household at 14 and homeless at 16, and being a dad at 17, and then at 22 being the CEO of the Soundview Healthcare Network. So God's been good to me. I believe that he's on my side, as he is on all of our side, because the fact of the matter is that if you stay humble, if you stay focused, if you pray, then great American dreams come true, and that's my case, that's my history, and that's why I feel the way I do about my God.
Well, so to follow your logic, you would say that God is not on the side of Andrew Cuomo and the Democrats at the state party who are actually trying to get rid of you. You believe that Andrew Cuomo is behind that effort. Why is it that you think that? I haven't heard anything from Andrew Cuomo along those lines.
Well, you know, the fact of the matter is that it's clear to me, and the reason why I'm not politically correct is because I tell them the way they have to be told. And the fact of the matter is, if people can't man up and say, I'm doing this or I'm doing thus, then that's their problem. If they're doing un-American things and trying to do damage to people who generally have conducted themselves with tremendous integrity and have provided services to their community and have developed their families in the manner in which I have, multi-generational successes and family I'm very proud of, he has tried to destroy my business, he has tried to destroy my family, and he has instructed Charlie King to disenroll me as a Democrat.
But what proof do you have?
That is what's happening.
What proof do you have of that? In other words,
I don't need proof. I'm telling you. I'm sharing with you what I believe.
I see.
I believe that that is the case. People that are honest and have insight to the political happenings believe that to be true. If I am wrong about that, then let him come out and say how I'm wrong about that. But that is what's been happening, and it's totally un-American. And my community, I just want to say this, my community, having exemplified my support for me today, is saying to Andrew Cuomo, stick to what you're doing. Run for governor, be a fair, impartial attorney general that does not selectively prosecute people, and then we might support you. But continue to behave in the manner in which you are behaving, and it's not just 10,000. It is the community of New York State, honest people, the fastest growing population in this state, Latino people, who feel that their highest ranking Hispanic official should not be selectively prosecuted or targeted for extension by Andrew Cuomo.
Okay, hold on. Senator, before we go any further, and I do want to speak to this issue of prejudice that you're raising right now, let me just ask, the 10,000 signatures that were collected on your behalf, did anyone who's connected to Soundview, your healthcare network, collect these signatures? Because in the past, there have been cases brought against Soundview and people found guilty of misusing public funds for political purposes. Can you say definitively here that no public funds or employees for Soundview helped you do this?
There's never been a case that rested on my ability to get on the ballot. The fact of the matter is that I have always gotten on the ballot, and for that matter, people have attempted to get me off or to disenroll me, Liz. This is not the first time that it happened.
Yep.
In 2002, the Democratic Party tried to disenroll me, and our great American courts said, this is un-American, this is beyond the pale, and not on our clock you won't. And so I made it onto the ballot. I've always been on the ballot. I have challenged people in primaries, and I welcome people to challenge me during primaries. What we don't like, and what people don't like, is the unilateral arbitrary arm of party heads going into their neighborhoods and say, this person cannot be on the ballot.
Senator,
that's un-American, and that's what we're fighting against.
Senator, I understand your position. What I'm asking you is if anyone from Soundview Health, the network that you are in charge of, this nonprofit that is actually the focus of 2 civil lawsuits that Andrew Cuomo says alleges that you have defrauded of public funds. I'm asking you if anyone connected to Soundview helped you collect petition signatures. Did anyone help you?
Okay. We can be loose with the English language, but I must correct you. There is no fraud in the lawsuits. These are civil lawsuits that say that I have enriched myself. We're ready to go to court with those and deal with those.
Yes,
as
I'm
it
aware.
relates to your question, as it relates to your question about petitioning, I have hundreds of people unrelated to Soundview, don't know what Soundview is, but know my track record, pro-human rights record, my record as a real reform Democrat that have subscribed to those petitions and that have set a record. I'm not a machine candidate. I'm an independent candidate. 10,000 signatures in less than 6 weeks is an incredible show of support. Anyone would tell you that.
But so you're saying then that no one from Soundview collected these signatures. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. That's correct. Although anybody that works in Soundview on their own time does not lose their rights to practice what is invested so much in our Constitution and we have fought wars for. And so I don't know everyone who collected signatures from me, but by large measure, the fact of the matter is the volunteers that toil in the hot sun and in 100-degree weather to do this. This is our great democracy being manifested. And let me just say this. This is a population of people that are usually apathetic, don't show up to vote, who have set a single candidate record. There were no other people on the choices of menus of candidacies. It was my candidacy, my record, and a call out to them to say, defend what's yours, a historical accomplishment as the first Latino majority leader. They responded, I'm grateful. They're not associated with Soundview. They're Democrats in the 33rd District.
Have you had any conversations with the Senate Democratic Chairman from the Bronx, Carl Heastie, or Assemblyman Dinowitz, who is the chair of the county committee there? Because they don't seem to me to be in any rush to heed the call from the state party chairman, or rather state party executive director Charlie King, or from any other leaders that may or may not have been asked by Andrew Cuomo to oust you from the roles. In fact, some of them, including Assemblyman Michael Benjamin, has said it's inappropriate for this to occur and that actually you should just be defeated at the polls. I mean, they're not fans of yours, but do you know if they're actually going to move forward with this?
I don't know, and for that matter, to answer your question, I have been on friendly terms, very supportive terms with Carl Heastie as a county leader, and with many, many members of not only the county legislative representation in Albany, both in the Senate and in the Assembly, but also across this state. I have worked with Democrats. In Manhattan, marriage equality would not have come up had it not been for the reforms that we enacted with Senator Duane. When we talk about upstate New York partnering with legislation for jobs for power for jobs, rather, that would create jobs there, that would visit real opportunities to help farmers and help the upstate economy, help housing in upstate New York. And so as majority leader, I have functioned to work with all within the Democratic Party, and yes, with the Republican Party as well, because strict partisanship can never succeed. It yields paralysis, it yields poor results, and so I have not been, as you well know, I have not been someone that just works within the Democratic Party, but in fact has reached out in a bipartisan way. My credentials in the Bronx are very solid with the Democratic Party. They're solid with Senate Conference Leader Sampson and my colleagues, and this comes as political expediency and payback, but as what I said, by Andrew Cuomo. That's what I'm saying. Senator, that's what I stick by.
What is the status right now of the investigation?